We're back with Fitz here.
Oh yeah.
How was your bathroom break?
It was good. After I got some ice cream as well. Because Ben Jerry's is really awesome.
Nice. And we have some kind of like interesting marine battle going on behind the announcers, it looks like, in the background next to the Coca-Cola sign. Kind of like maybe like an early 2001 StarCraft movie, something like that. And there's a car that just drove by. Wow.
Dude, I was looking at Amazon. Apparently Blizzard made an actual DVD, right? For the cutscenes of Brood War. Like, that's all it was. You made like a DVD that you could buy, that they could sell. Oh, the guy with the awesome hair, that'll be Sync. So to talk about these players, at previous history. Wait, who is it?
That was Sync.
Alright, if we talk about Sync won his TVC versus Jinnam in day 2. And Sync also is 2-0 so far because he also beat Lee in the TVT that he had. And then if you look at Sigamari, his TVT, he beat Lee, so actually he's already up 1-0. And then he played... shit, it's Sigam... no. Is it Sigamari? Yeah, Sigamari. Trying to find Sigamari. Oh, and then Sigamari just played. Yeah, Sigamari. And Sigamari, did he win against this game? No, Sigamari lost his ZBC. So far, Sigamari is actually 1-1, but won his TVZ, or ZBT. That being said, you know, to the degree of what we've seen, I'd say they're probably about even. I would probably sway my vote to more of Terrans because I've seen more Boxer win more against Zergs, but on these maps. But BMW, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually Dean Sigmari play. I know Sync is really good, so this map, we've seen some pretty interesting, I think we saw Yellow versus the Marine on Ragnarok, and basically the Marine just turtled in his base, and Yellow just said, "Alright man, you're just going to turtle in your base then." And oh, by the way, I forgot to tell the viewers, the Marine didn't make a wall, so that was the other thing. He just kept running in lurkers into all of his barracks, the Marine's barracks. So I know Sync is a much better player than the Marine at this point, so I really think that we're going to see, you know, a pretty epic TVZ on this map. I really like this map. I think this is my favorite map of all the maps so far.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that I think the tank, pressure, you know, try to kill down at natural of Sigmari, you know, and Sigmari will probably try to go heavy Mutaplay. And by the way, if people are seeing like Nan and Nissi, those were team houses at the time, so they weren't professionals, so to speak. They had team houses, so you might have heard of Null Ra later on. That's he was part of Team Null, or the clan, or the team house Null. So this is the same thing. Nissi Shaky, that was Sigmari's. Nissi was a team house.
All right. So spawning in the bottom left-hand corner as our orange Terran, buddy. It'll be Sync, my favorite to win this match. Then in the bottom right hand corner as a red Zerg, it will be Sigmari.
I think that would be sick.
What?
Like maybe like 9 pool speedlings into like, and Sync doesn't have a wall. That would be just so sick right now to see something crazy happen. We haven't really seen anything too like adventurous in TVC yet. See, so or maybe like fast vultures, you know, something interesting. I just want to see it happen right now.
Sync. Sync is what? Purple? No, purple is orange.
Yeah, he's orange.
Alright, cool.
And right now, Sigmari is actually scouting the wrong direction, so he's not gonna find Sync for the long time, which is actually gonna put him in a bad position early on. You want to know where your opponent is. You want to get to figuring out a little bit of what he's doing, maybe some mind games. So Sigmari's going to be in the dark for a while, and he's actually dropping the pool, and I believe it's a 9 pool.
That was an overpool.
Overpool, excuse me, yeah.
And Sync, that wall's never going to be tight. That wall will never be link tight. I don't think it will be. Boxer, when he walls off, he goes way further back in order to wall off, so I don't think there will ever be a completely tight wall. Just to note. This wall is very awkward to tight wall off on.
Yeah, I mean, the map kind of looks like a Halloween mask. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like when they were designing it, they were just like, the guy probably just like looked at his Halloween mask and was just like, oh, okay. Pretty ugly looking map, but it is a sick. Oh, and he's actually drawing a lot better this time around.
Yeah. You know, no. Terran's gonna do a one-base build, that being either vultures or kind of like a bio play. I don't know which one we're gonna actually see today, but if yeah, pretty much. I don't. Sync really has like two options. I mean, Boxer is gone, you know, a bio play. That's really what I'm taking from the games from. He's kind of done like a bio one base all in to just going like 2 facts into a lot of vultures. And like I said, yeah, go ahead.
Did you see Sigmari's face? It looked like he was crying. It looked like he was tearing up.
No, I didn't.
Oh my god. Oh, and it's not link tight.
Oh wow. Yep.
Okay, so,
you may get your quick game, BMW.
I wanted to see some crazy stuff happen, and Sigmari, who looked like he had tears in his eyes, has actually got tears of joy because Sync has no idea how to wall in on Ragnarok.
Yeah, you have to push that wall back in order to wall off correctly. I'm surprised that's not tight. I'm surprised. I'm actually very surprised that those depots weren't tight.
Yeah, and so this is definitely TV nerves right here. Sync definitely had TV nerves right there. Accidentally misclicked the wall, and it might have been too late. He might have just tried to put Marines and SCVs because he knew he had miswalled and was just like, well, F it, why rebuild now? You know, I'll be way delayed.
Not even like the fact that I don't think he's gonna like continue with like 1,000 links or anything, but he got scouting information. That's the important thing, and he saw gas. It wasn't like the 2 barracks where you would go for like, you know, the academy and then email and follow that up with. I mean, he knows he's gonna be going up to a factory tag. Almost all of a sudden, he wanted to change up everything. But I mean, Sigmari knows what's coming his way. You know, that's gonna give him a huge advantage, and you know, he's deciding to take the expansion. He's gonna be doing a 3-hash build of some sort. I would expect Hydralisks and or lurkers. And also, if you're wondering for the viewers, that's like why there's a random hatch rate in the center of that. That's purely because think of it as like the natural of the choke point of your natural. That's kind of what it is. Because if you let units get in there, then you're kind of screwed for your natural. There's really no way to defend it well. That's why Zergs tend to expand there. But yeah.
Yeah, and it could also be like a proxy hatchery almost as well, where you can, if you say you did decide to go like mass Hydralisk, it's just really close to rally Hydralisk to your opponent's base at that point.
Oh yeah. It's a multi-purpose thing. Yeah, of course.
So yeah, Sigmari's really just planning for the mid game at this point when he does that. Really sick map. And he's got a port now, so are we gonna see dropship play?
He's making a Wraith right now.
He's making a Wraith, okay.
I think Sync did this in his other TBCs. He got like a couple kills with the Wraith, to open up with.
Yeah, on Neo Jungle Book, I believe, or the green map, whatever the green map is.
Neo Jungle Story, yeah. And yeah, it will be lurkers or Hydralisk. It will be a lurker probably because he got faster layer tech. And I don't know. I wonder how effective this Wraith is going to be because Hydras are. It's an interesting choice to go Wraith on because I wouldn't expect Meatless on this map. Mineral positionings on these positions at least are just not going to favor Meatless at all. It's not vertical position, so it's kind of useless to go Meatless anyway, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, and the Wraith is actually already getting out sniping an Overlord. This is good news. I would prefer to see him going after some drone kills, you know, because once you start doing that, it really fucks up with the Zerg. You know, they really get confused, and they're just like, oh, I didn't prepare for 2-port Wraith, when in reality it's only 1 port. So it kind of like has to alter their build, you know.
I think generally that's when you want. I mean, I don't know the exact amount. What is it, like 5, 6 Wraith to 1-shot drones? That's probably. So sick. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. That's what you'd want it to do it. I think it's just 1 Wraith that you purposely kill off Overlords just to mess with your opponent. Killing off drones with the pew just takes too long. And killing off Overlords will do more economic damage, probably faster. In terms of like, well, now your supply block. So 1, you can't build units. 2, you have to spend 100 minerals to remake it. So it's a larva. It could be a drone that could have been made. It's, you know, you could argue that it's probably more beneficial to kill off Overlords than it would per se be drones. But that's getting way too technical, and I'm probably making out some bullshit story. But anyway.
Yeah, and so this early scouting by Sigmari, it's really gone to his favor because he's pretty much knowing that Sync was committed to doing factory play. So he's been really able to prepare this whole time, you know, for these last 8 minutes or so about what he wanted to do. And so really he's just going to be, fully prepared. He's probably played mech before, or bionic with mech, I guess you could call it. Biconic? Is that what it's called? Biconic?
I call it biomech, but that would be a StarCraft 2 term. That's what casters in StarCraft 2 call it. Biomech.
Okay. So, getting back to my point, I think that Sigmari is right now, he's got kind of a huge advantage because he's had all this time to really strategize in his mind how he wants to deal with the Terran.
And if those are on hold position lurkers BMW, we could have a huge just lead for Sigmari.
Yeah, and hold position lurkers, for most people, don't realize they're actually banned in a lot of tournaments now.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, this is going to be really fucking frightening if...
Well, they were allowed. I mean, we saw Yellow do it. It wasn't banned yet. This could be bad. Does he scan? Oh no, this could be huge! Oh no! Oh no! No! The whole Terran army just gets decimated! Oh no! Hydras are coming in here. Sigmari just may take this game, guys. Beautiful, beautiful play. And maybe the reasoning why that is banned in tournaments. How effective it is. Wow.
Yeah, that was so funny. Sigmari looked like he just had a hamster jump in his pants or something. Really funny. Really funny look on his face. And Sync has got to be feeling disgusting right now. He's just got to be like, what the hell, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that, you know? Something like that, probably.
So you said it's banned in recent tournaments?
Yeah, I'm talking like a long time ago, like 03, 04, that shit was banned too. There's little things you can't do with turrets. You can't do hold position lurkers. Just a lot of stuff. I don't know necessarily nowadays, but I know Kespo, you can't do that shit.
Oh, really? When was Kespo founded?
Huh?
When was Kespo founded?
It would have been a couple years later.
Oh.
So anyways, look, we've got a nice little hat. Oh, but he's just totally... He had the arc set up. But those SCVs really fucked with the Hydralisk AI right there almost.
Yeah, I think they weren't attack man. They weren't target fighting the tank when they really should have.
I think he didn't have him on attack. I think he had him on rally almost.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, so he had the rally because the group showed up once, and then the second group, and the tank was just like, hell yeah, you know?
To be born in it. I mean, Terran, I mean, if you're a human in this StarCraft world, you have like one of 12 different faces. I mean, every portrait you see of a Marine is the same. Every portrait of a tank driver's always the same. If you're born with a tank face, you must be such a happy dude. It's like, yeah, I get to shock cannon everything to death. I would love to be a tank driver in Brood War. Just siege up and just blow up like insects. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, and right now, Sink has got a nice little ball, Terran ball coming in here. You know, if he gets his setup a little better, he could really do some damage. He's going to be in position to just pot shot those Sunks and then just run in with stemmed Marines. I mean, this is kind of scary for Sigmari.
You know, Sigmari played it a little bit more passively, decided to take a third base really quickly, versus maybe go up to Hive Tech. Maybe just get quick defilers and just try to win. But this third base location is so exposed, and you're watching that right now. I mean, Sigmari doesn't. I mean, he has mainly Hydras. I'm not really sure if he has a whole big of a huge army. Okay, we see. I mean, he could try to pincer. I mean, he's a good amount of Hydras, probably like 20, 24. But this base is done, which is really resetting Sigmari where he once was.
Yeah, and he's actually coming in for the flank. D-Matrix going down, Stim going down, and it doesn't look like he has enough Hydralists to really get involved with these two choke points where the Terran's located.
That was a terrible engagement for Sigmari.
No, you mean for Sink. Oh yeah, Sigmari, you're right, excuse me.
And now Sink's going to be engaging here. These Sunks will hold off, will buy some time. But this is just getting to a narrow choke point now, and narrow choke point means greater Terran army, so see what happens. You know, we're saying Sink continuing to rally units across the map. It's kind of like a 1-1-1-ish, or yeah, I mean, it's like he's getting a science vessel, a tank, and like maybe 2 or 3 bears, you know, constantly making Marines here, just constantly rallying across the map. Establishing a second base at this time, killing off the central hatchery, which is only again buying time. And I don't think Sink will fall for another whole position lurkers again. He has to be very careful about it.
Yeah, and this is the reason why we were so high on Sink. You know, Sink is the patient Terran. You know, has really good strategies. You know, it wasn't really his fault to lose the hold position lurkers. Other than that, he's really been playing a flawless game at this point. You know, he's been dealing with the fact that his opponent knows what he was supposed to do. But I really just think that right now this is Sigmari's about to get rolled over.
Yep.
We got another little Ray flying in. They got the little Air Force coming in. You know,
it's like Reacher's getting off the dropship for the Archon and then sending off like 30 Metalists just for 2 Archon, but it didn't win him the game. And killing off every single Overlord almost from that engagement right there. And probably, I mean, if you wanted to, you could irradiate. Alright, the tanks are exposed, but it doesn't matter. The DPS, the tanks are so high. Hydralists versus just Marines are good. Even D-Matrixing a Marine in that. And just Sink is just going to dominate this. And I mean, this is why you never want to lose that central hatchery. You can stall for time, but once you lose it, the problem is that you can't really defend your natural now, or your second base rather, because I mean, how do you defend it? You set up tanks in that center area, or behind that. It's a choke point, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna set up Slumpkins, which will buy time. We'll see. And Sink's gonna be advancing here.
Yeah, I really think Sink's gonna be 3-0 in his group. What a beast. The guy is absolutely just a monster. He showed it in TVT and TVZ now. I mean, this guy is a scary opponent. He might be able to take it all at this point.
Continuing to rally units across the map here. Stimming, killing up the Sunkens, and just the tanks are going to be target firing down the hatchery. Marines are getting into a better position to defend the tanks right here. Even high ground vision of the science vessel at this point. Even killing off a macro hatch. I mean, there's really no reproduction capabilities of the Zerg army right here. And probably already had a supply deficit. BMW, I'm a little afraid for Sigmari at this point. I'm not really. I think it's long GG at this point.
Yeah, Sigmar should have GG'd at this point. It's over with. There's nothing he can do now.
I mean, look at that Hydralis force. I mean, it's tiny.
Yeah,
I mean, he's even got a siege just to go off a
when you see 20 tanks on the mini map, like, all right, dude, like, I think that should be enough of a precursor to know, like, you have no chance at winning now. You know, you have not done a good enough job. He knew the strategy too, and he still couldn't stop it. That just shows you how good Sync of his macro is. You know, and Sync did make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. He had a horrible wall in. You know, but still.
There's also something I didn't talk about this map earlier. If he wanted to get those tanks right edge to edge with those minerals, he could siege up that mineral line at the main base. He's not doing that, but he could.
Yeah. I feel bad for the viewers because this is just an absolutely one-sided affair at this point, you know. And this is going to be our... oh no, this will be... So we've seen 2 Zergs win. And we've seen 2 Zergs and finally a Terran will win today. Very interesting.
This is one of these games where I really like to see the replay and then just really figure out really what hurt Sigmari. I mean, he wasn't in a terrible position. I mean, this push has just done so much damage.
Well, I really think what hurt him was his decision to go to a third base, Fitz. Like you said earlier, you know, just, you know, populating drones and going for the third base and then, you know, basically getting it wiped out for free, having no defense to take care of it, and just, you know, that was a loss of units that he could have had to deal with the Terran. And he missed opportunities. He had that wide open wall. He maybe could have just switched his strategy and went to mass lings and all in, you know, just little things.
Yeah.
And right now the Terran is just like, alright bro, you want to get embarrassed on national TV? I'm here to help.
GG!
Yep.
He's like, God, why that happened?
Yeah, and we forgot to mention that Sync looks like Jang B 2.0. Alright, so GG on the game.
Alright.